This is my second video where I'm going to expand using the binomial theorem. So instead of writing this out 5 different times and multiplying 2x plus 1 by itself 5 times, I'm going to use the binomial theorem. If you don't know what Pascal's triangle is at this point, please go back and watch my video about Pascal's triangle and how to write it out. This is what I get when I write out my triangle and go to the row for a degree of 5. So because this is a degree of 5, starting with row 0, filling it out till row 5, I will be using the coefficients 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. So what I do with these numbers first is I just write them spaced out on my page. Easy enough. Then I am going to take each of the terms from my binomial. So 2x and positive 1, and I'm just going to write them after each of these coefficients. So all I've done is I've written parentheses 2x, parentheses 1 after each of the coefficients that I just wrote down. Next, I'm going to fill in my exponents. So starting with 2x, I'm going to raise 2x to the 5th power in the first term, the 4th power in the second term, and so on until I decrease until 0. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You're going to do the same thing in reverse with that 1. So in the first term, 1 is going to be raised to the 0 power. The second term is the 1st power, and so on. So starting at 0, making my way up to 5. Next, I need to simplify each of these terms, and this is where you need to be careful. So my first term, I have 1 times 2x to the 5th power. So the 1 is still just a 1. Now, if you have 2x to the 5th power, that means you have 2 to the 5th power and x to the 5th power. And then anything to the 0 power is going to equal 1, no matter what it is. 2 to the 5th power, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So I get 1 times 32x to the 5th times 1. Next, I have 5 times, I have 2 to the 4th and x to the 4th because the exponent is applying to everything inside. And this is honestly an easy example because I just keep raising 1 to some power, and that's always going to equal 1. That's a 2 to the 4th, not a 24, by the way. So we end up with 5 times 2 to the 4th, which is 16, x to the 4th times 1. Same thing with the rest of them. 10 times 2 to the 3rd, x to the 3rd. 1 squared is 1. Two to the 3rd is equal to 8. And moving on. This time I have 2 squared x squared. 1 to any power is 1. So we end up with 10 times 4x squared times 1. Next, it gets a little easier. I have 5 times 2x to the 1st is just 2x times another 1. And finally, I have 1 times 2x to the 0 power is going to equal 1. Like I said before, anything to the 0 power, no matter what it is going to equal 1. And 1 to the 5th is 1. So each of your terms, you need to multiply everything that I circle right here. Oh, my circles got messed up by the end. There, that's better. Okay, so all you're going to do is multiply these together, and then you have all of these terms added. So if you want to pause the video to do that, I encourage you to pause it. Otherwise, I'm going to go to the next slide with the answer. This was much neater, so I wanted to show you this slide. Sorry, I'm struggling with the scrolling, but this is the final answer.